Well, hello, everybody. I hope that you had a good weekend as well. It is Monday, and it is in the afternoon. It's 2:04 p.m. here on the west coast of the United States. And today, just for you guys, as a special request from the fandom, the fan base, the people that love him, the man, the myth, the legend, Tom is in the studio. In the house.
Nice renovated studio, too. I got a brick wall.
Yeah, it's way too black to be seen, I think, no? Or is that my screen?
No, I can see it.
Oh, that's my screen. Yeah, I think y'all can see it. We'll put some lighting behind there and stuff. I'm actually thinking about doing that here on this wall as well. Getting rid of this and then doing
those suck, man.
Yeah, they're horrible. They're just ugly.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what we're talking about because you can't see it. But Tom's in the house.
What up, guys?
I told Tom, do you want to come into the office today, or do you want to come into the office via your office? And he said, I'll come in as long as the people hit the like button.
That's right.
Or else I'm never coming in again. So hit the like button, folks. There's a number of things we want to discuss. I'm just scrolling here on Twitter. People doing some interesting things.
Oh my
God. That's thing, incense. They're burning incense.
Oh, it's
That's
terrible.
actually pretty good. That's a pretty good use of it. I like incense. I love burning incense. There's a lot of stuff happening, guys. A lot of stuff. We want to talk about Iran a bit again, partly because we have people in Iran that we love and care about and generally want their well-being. There's a large Armenian community in Iran. There's a large Armenian Christian community in Iran, and so so it's important for us to talk about that. And woke up today and I read a news that there was an Armenian young lady, 24 years old, that was killed by the regime as she was protesting in Iran. And so, as a matter of fact,
do you have
you know who was the first person that I saw this from? Yeah.
Oh, Rubina Amirian, I see this.
You know who the first person was that posted it that I saw it from?
Who?
The apostate Turk.
Oh, really?
The apostate prophet posted. I went on Twitter and I saw.
What did he put?
Is that you or outside?
No, it's not me. That's not me. We're getting doxxed. Sorry, guys. It seems like someone's outside doing some work, and I was just trying to listen to what's going on. What is that?
I'll tell you.
I was like, I'm not moving.
I was like, that was usually the wind will do something, and then but that was like way louder than the wind. But that was AT&T. They are running fiber optics. I might have to change my internet service to.
Oh, is that for
AT&T.
your neighbor? Or?
I don't know. They're running fiber in this area, and so the poles are like right above us, right here. So AT&T is running all that stuff. So hang on, there's so many things I got on my mind I'm doing here.
Yeah, I just switched to faster internet.
Did you?
Nice.
Yeah, but
what is fiber, by the way? It's so funny. Oh, he every time he notices the camera.
He's not noticing.
Oh, he's not.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Fiber is faster internet. Faster than. No, they're doing work. Okay. Let the guys do their work. Okay, so this is so Ridvan posted this.
That's sad, man.
She has been shot and killed by the Islamic regime in the Iranian uprising. Her name is Rubina Aminian. It's Armenian, right? Not Amirian. Did you see Amirian anywhere else?
I think I saw Amirian.
Yeah, I think it might be. They might have gotten that wrong.
Amirian is the... Oh, Armenian. No, I see Armenian.
Okay, it's Armenian.
Yeah.
She was 24. So.
Oh, I'm seeing... That's weird.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing Kurdish woman killed. They're identifying her as Kurdish.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
That's a very Armenian name.
Yeah. Armenian. That
yeah, but even Rubina,
like Rubina,
yeah, it's not just the last name. I know that because there's Iranians that have the IAN last name,
like the president of Iran.
Correct. What's his last name?
Pezeshkian.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad word.
There are actually Armenian Pezeshkians here. Like there's a doctor. His name is Pezeshkian.
That sounds like you're cussing someone out, bro. Like you son of a Pezeshk. But it does, doesn't it? You see this idiot? This guy ran over a bunch of folks here in LA, Tom.
Yeah, I saw that. What the heck is wrong with that?
So this guy is a socialist.
I didn't even understand what was on his truck. I wasn't understanding.
So, yeah. I'll tell you exactly because I know more about this stuff. I'm the expert. You know, you need to shut up and listen to the expert. Like you told me the other day that I need to be quiet and listen to the expert. Let me break it down for you. Not the other day, yesterday. Yesterday. Last night he told me let the expert talk. So sit down.
That's funny.
So his truck had these guys are radical Muslim socialists. So they don't want the whole democracy, secularism kind of route, but they also don't like the thing, Ayatollah and the regime, because these were the people that partnered up with the regime initially to get rid of the Shah. And then they broke away from the IRGC and stuff like that, right? So there's very few of them from my research and stuff like that. Very few of them. And so this guy...
play that video in to the chat?
This guy drove his truck into... So there's a protest. If you know Farsi, there's going to be some cussing in here, okay? Just letting you know. So this guy drove this U-Haul with all these. He's saying no to the mullahs, no to the Shah.
That's why I was confused. Yeah, I was like, what is he saying?
Because they're the communists, bro. These are the people that wanted to hand Iran over to the Soviet Union, basically. And then people were essentially they went at it, and then he just drove and hit a bunch of people and all that. Yeah. So.
This is in LA, by this is where we live.
Big Iranian community. Oh, this is not the video. So there's another video where...
Yeah, you should find that video where they're like trying to beat him up and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
No. So it's kind of nuts in regards to what's happening and all that, obviously.
You know, this being an Iranian Armenian is actually pretty crazy because the last few years have just been... Iran protests, Armenia war.
Yeah.
Iran protests, Armenia war. It's like, are we the only ones experiencing this? Maybe somebody else is. But
by the way, I do want to play a video. Can you send me the link on Instagram of the video I posted today from a dear friend of ours?
Yes.
Calling out for Trump to intervene.
Yes. I can.
And I'll look at the comments. Ted is saying maybe Assyrian, but Kurdish is usually Islamic names. Very good point. She might be. She might be Armenian, Assyrian, all those things as well. So,
yeah, that's definitely an Armenian name. Rubina and Armenian.
Yeah.
But then there are Persians with Amini, so it's, I don't know. Well, her mom said something, so let's see what her mom said.
Did you send me the video?
Yes, I did.
I posted. Okay, so we want to play a video here that is meaningful in many ways to everyone. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys have more information on that stuff, just please drop it in and tell us and all that, you know.
Islamic.
Okay, let's do this. Can I just have to refresh this from the beginning? How do I rewind on?
Just go down and come back up.
No,
regime has violently cracked down on peaceful protesters, brutally injuring or killing thousands. The dead bodies are piling up in hospitals, warehouses, and on the streets as the regime blocks the heavily injured ones from entering the medical care centers. The actions of this barbaric regime take me back 32 years, when my own father, Bishop Haikov Sepyan, the leader of the evangelical churches in Iran, was brutally killed by the Islamic regime. At that time, the support of the US Congress for advocacy on behalf of my father's life and later helping us to find his corpse left a deep impression on me that the United States stands for justice and human rights worldwide. I firmly believe that God has a plan of redemption for Iran and has entrusted you playing a key role in that plan, just as you have played a decisive role for America. As a proud Iranian-American human rights activist and on behalf of the family of Bishop Martyr Haikov Sepyan, I respectfully urge you to intervene on behalf of the Iranian people before the loss of many more innocent lives. The people of Iran and generations to come will forever be grateful for your critical action taken at this historical moment. Thank you and God bless you.
Do you want to comment on that since you know that gentleman well?
Yeah. So Joe, you can follow him. He's a brother in Christ, Joseph of Sepien. He's also he has a production studio where they create a bunch of beautiful content, movies, all this kind of stuff. But these guys, man, I give props to Joseph and his family, because these guys have been trying to reach out to the Iranian people for like ever since before their dad was martyred. Their dad was kind of doing that. So it's got to be like special for them knowing all this work they've done, and then now like this is happening, and obviously it pains them to see this. They've experienced the brutality of the Islamic regime firsthand, but it's got to be hopeful to see like, hey, if there's a change, all this work we've done in Iran, spreading the gospel and stuff, this is going to come to fruition in like a more public way. That's pretty incredible. But yeah, this Joseph's dad was actually my parents' pastor, one of my parents' pastors, and he was martyred. I don't remember exactly when. I forget, but it was definitely after I was born, because he was actually the one that dedicated me in the church. So I have a picture of him dedicating me in the church. And he was martyred by the same regime who then tried to deny it and stuff like that. So these guys are super evil. They're very anti-Christian, especially if you're
He was killed in 1994, Tom.
Yeah, 1994. Yeah.
January 1994.
Yeah, so, and his kids have gone on to do incredible work for the kingdom. But so a lot of people are involved. So that's the thing. There's a lot of interest. I was going to release a video, Arthur, like of myself talking in the car, but I was raging a little. And so I just ended up not doing it yesterday. But it was mainly, maybe I will, but it was mainly on just because your interests align with like people who are like terrible, that doesn't mean like you should stop actually like going after that interest, that cause. So like there's a lot of like Armenian Christians like Joe, and then there's a lot of like just secular leftist Iranians, and there's all kinds of people that want this regime out. Like I don't care about like the kinds of people. What's important is the regime has to be out, and then you can figure out all that other stuff, like political stuff out. But yeah,
anybody who's interested in the story of Haikov Sepyan, Bishop Haikov Sepyan, you guys can check out. I dropped a link here. It's called A Cry from Iran. And it's their story. It is their story. It is not only their story, but it's the story of a number of other people who were martyred by the regime in Iran. This is stuff that really gets under my nerves. There's a number of liberal folks that I'm like friendly with, that I know personally and also like online, who are like just posting the dumbest stuff. Like, oh, this is all Mossad American sort of stuff. The Iranian people, one of them is actually Iranian Armenian, and saying the Iranian people like don't want the Israelis and the Americans involved in this. I'm like, you're so blinded by your liberalism in America, anti-Trump, seriously, anti-Trump derangement syndrome, where that like really, they don't want like my wife's. The church they went to in Iran, her family went to, their pastor was martyred. Armenian. by the regime because they planted fake converts in the church. And when he tried to minister to them, they led him into a secret place and killed him. This man was killed, right? Like they didn't know where his body was for I don't know how long. They had his young children go and identify the body so they can traumatize them. And so this man, seriously, you will cry watching this.
Yeah, it's an incredible document.
It really is. The link has been dropped, guys. Go check it out. And you'll know kind of what the regime does behind the scenes, beyond the political sort of conversations that happen. But it just fascinates me, Tom, that in America, specifically America, we'll get like all the liberals that are like pro-women.
Yeah.
Who just absolutely can't, like, don't talk about this. Like, they can't get themselves to talk about this. And I don't understand what kind of brain, like, disease you have to have.
Yeah. Well said.
Where you don't recognize that. Like, you don't recognize, I'm let's just go with that, right? I'm pro-woman. And the Iranian women want to remove their hijabs and smoke cigarettes. Let's just say, right? Like, I don't know, whatever your thing is, right? Like, they should have the freedom to do so without being scared to be killed. And a bunch of other stuff before you're killed.
Yes.
And then here you are, you're talking about how, like somehow they're now talking about, like, don't get involved, like, interventionists and stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. It doesn't, and it's because they're ideologically driven, and so you would think like their ideology is actually women's rights, but it's not. That's not their actual ideology. Their ideology is more in line with so their liberal ideology is more aligned with anti whatever the traditional Christian ideology is. So that's how you make sense of these things. So you go like, wait, I thought they're for women's rights, so why aren't they supporting these women? And then you stand back and say, well, what the hell is this about? And you're like, oh, well, maybe, just maybe, because their actual ideologies, which is anti-family, totalitarianism, communism, all that stuff, aligns more with the mullahs, like,
which is
which is crazy. So I mean, why else would it be, Arthur? Like, why would a liberal not be supporting Iranian women's rights right now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like they might say something like because Israel or whatever, because the West is. The West and Israel support this movement.
Yeah, but still, like 47 years of rape, pillaging, murder, just oppression of this country and this people, and Israel's involved.
Yeah,
Israel's involved because look, you would be as well. Like again, this is not a conspiratorial thing. Israel as a nation, like any other nation out there, ought to be concerned about their own safety.
Yes.
And if Israel is saying, hey, man, like we can go from having an enemy in Iran to not even being friendly. Like think about like to them being our enemies, constantly funding these and one destroying that, to being not an enemy. Like that's enough. Of course they're going to be involved in that.
Yeah.
But is Israel doing this? Is this what Israel is doing?
That's brutal.
Like they are dropping off bodies. I saw a video. They were dropping off bodies, Tom, of people just like in trucks. They were just driving up, taking the bodies up just like this, and dropping them off, and people gotta go recognize their loved ones and stuff like that. Or is that? Oh man, this is
Mr. Mark Ruffalo, why are you talking?
I'm gonna play this video. I don't know if you saw this video.
Go ahead, play it. I might have. I've seen so much.
Yeah.
I've been scrolling so much the last few days.
Folks, check out this video. This is an Iranian guy. He brings up Mark Ruffalo because Mark Ruffalo made a couple of comments yesterday at the Golden Globes. He was talking about how he can't be in peace and whatever, enjoy his time because of that woman that was shot by the ICE agent. and that we have a president that's doing this and that. You know, he's a liberal. Like, we get it, Mark. We get it. Like, you play a pretty decent Hulk. Your politics suck. And you're just annoying. Like, every chance you get of like, look how liberal I am. Look how liberal I am. You're just annoying.
Yeah. So we got it. We got your game.
Yeah, we get it. And it's your platform. You can do whatever you want. It's just the fact that you didn't use that opportunity as a liberal to talk about what the heck's going on in Iran, but you talked about what happened to that woman, who very potentially is in the wrong.
Yeah.
Right. But look at what this guy says. He says it well, man.
Mr. Mark Ruffalo, why are you talking about the ICE, that one single woman that died, that came in front of ICE? I don't understand where you guys want to take this with Gaza and Hamas and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Neither of you have lived under the Islamic Republic tyranny that you guys are talking about the death of one single woman that have came in front of an ICE agent, a police. And you guys are talking about, you guys have human rights. You guys have everything that you need in your life. We have been taken, our lives have been taken away from us. You guys have everything, and you guys once have one president in your country that wants the best for the people of America that have built the land for 250 years. America has a right to have a country. America has a right to have a country as much as Iranians have a right to have a country. So let's get the facts right here. All right? Let's not get ourselves lost in this illusion that you guys have been building for us, for people. All right?
Ooh,
Mr. Mark Ruffalo, why are you talking about...
Can you play the video I just sent you? It's exactly like a follow-up to this guy. What this guy just
I saw this one, yes.
Yeah, this is like a similar sentiment here. I think this guy might be a comedian or something.
He might be.
Evil, wall-to-wall coverage, endless outrage, right? Where is the outrage from the woke mob when it's in Iran? Wall-to-wall coverage, endless outrage, right? Where is the outrage from the woke mob when it's in Iran? In Iran, there are documented videos, endless, coming out of little girls getting intimidated, abused, and terrorized by these animals, these beasts tied to Ali Khamenei. Clerics protected by this power. There's no courts, no justice, no protection for these girls. Look at their face. They're scared. They know no one's coming to help them. And if you speak up in Iran, you disappear. Now tell me something. Where are the woke leftists? Where is Greta? Where are the loud feminists? Where are the protests? Where are the hashtags? Where's the marches? Where's the college campuses? Gone, silent, missing. And if you're a dad with a daughter, ask yourself one thing. If this was your child, would silence be acceptable? Because this crime isn't just what's happening. It's who chooses to look away. Shame on you, BBC. Shame on you, New York Times. Shame on you, CNN, for not standing up for the women and the girls in Iran.
That's pretty powerful.
There you go. It's very telling in regards to the motivation when liberals just like ignore very obvious things, like as if we're blind, we don't see what's going on.
Yeah.
We're this, we're for this, we're for that, we're for freedom and this and that. And it's like when there's a legitimate thing happening, and all of you guys are just like, it's like somebody just told you to shut up.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, yes, we will do so. We will ignore like as if it's not happening.
Yeah. Because brother, you know this as well as I do. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, because they're aligned with Islam. Because the leftists in our country, and I'm not talking about your classical like liberal Democrat that lives next door, by the way. The leftists in this country, right, the ones that have these voices, these platforms, these guys, they're aligned with Islam. They are actually aligned with Islam. They don't have a problem with Islam. As a matter of fact, they're scared to call out Islam. And Islam loves them back.
Yep.
Islam loves the liberals back. Because as one guy said, I said this in a few streams ago, as one guy said, Islam will couple itself with liberalism, and they'll ride this beautiful wave together until Islam has enough power to then, Well,
Iran is a really good example of that, because you had those socialists in Iran. Mm-hmm. And then you had Khomeini. Yeah. It's a perfect example.
It's the example.
And then what ended up happening? Once Khomeini took over, once the Muslims took over, they told the socialists, get lost.
Get the heck out of here.
It's a perfect example.
And those were pretty like militant socialists back then.
Yes.
Now you're talking about your regular average socialist is like a pink-haired girl, like David Woodstock. David Woodstock is your typical liberal person or your typical socialist. So it's like they don't even have the militant socialist wing, by the way, right now is like in America at least. Maybe the rest of the world has some aggressive ones, but in America at least it's like
they'll get aggressive.
Antifa and stuff.
They'll
like
get
that.
aggressive. They'll get aggressive. Check this out. I posted a video about Mamdani. Where I spoke about the collectivism. You remember this comment, right, Tom? I said, I said Mamdani's talking about collectivism. I said the warmth of collectivism. I said the only warmth collectivism gives you is your body heat because you won't have any electricity. And then the comments are kind of hilarious on it because I posted it as a short. It's got like 1,700 views, but it's nice. Somebody said he meant he's not a communist. I said, oh, yes, he is a democratic socialist. That has nothing to do with communism. And so they've responded. I haven't. This is actually the first time I'm seeing their response. I didn't look at my phone yesterday much. This guy wrote, why the hell is this recommended for me? How does the fascist boot taste? Here was my response to this. You have no idea what it is like to live under an authoritarian government. I was born under one. Go away.
Yeah. Seriously, get lost.
Leave.
Even Nick Fuentes yesterday put something like this entire chaos created in Iran is done by the Israeli government to blah blah. Yeah. And I was like, bro, you're an absolute retard. What do you mean? Like you know, it's Iranian people are not like some like what are those people called, like Yazidis, where you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of them. And they're in major cities, and there's videos they're putting out, and there's people that have like consistently been like, let's say, anti-Trump and stuff like that, but like pro, like they're Iranian and stuff. Like it just takes a few minutes of research to see, no, like this is an authentic, organic movement. Bro, people hate Islam.
This started. This is like the 6th uprising in Iran since 2009.
Yeah. Like how stupid are you?
This is not new. Those of us who actually regularly keep up with these countries know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? We know what the inflation rate is.
Yeah.
Brother, you're sending money to Iran.
Yeah, like my family in Iran can't survive. By the way, my family left Iran because of those bastard Islamic Republic mullahs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like we left because of them. So because they're evil, they're disgusting, they kill people, and they're like financially, economically, they don't allow the country to thrive. They create enemies with a bunch of their neighbors, which then causes sanctions so their people can't live. Like they're horrible people. Like they're not like these grandpa figures. It's not who's the guy that runs the Buddhist Dalai Lama. It's not the Dalai Lama, by the way. Like the Khomeini and Khamenei, they're not like the Dalai Lama. They're disgusting human beings. Khamenei's daughter, by the way, she's like in America, like going to parties, dressed in skimpy outfits. All these like they were showing this other like one other guy from the leadership. His daughter was getting married, like full on videos.
Yeah, I saw this.
Just like dressed up to the T, looking like a whore and stuff like that. Exactly what they are, right? Like these guys are whores. Like Khomeini, all these guys. They're not even like, they're horrible people. Their families are like this, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know, like they come and they're like, oh, Islam, and we have to live, you know, with certain regulations and laws. It's like, you guys aren't doing this stuff. You're terrible people, and the people know it. By the way, the people aren't just like we don't want these Islamist leaders because they're so faithful to Islam and we can't live under this. They're like, these guys are hypocrites. They're not even faithful to their religion. They're the worst of the worst. So that's
and what I'm saying is, that's the thing, is like people are like, oh, like somehow they think this whole thing started when the Americans took out the nuclear facility or something like that. People in Iran have been trying to overthrow these guys, at the very least.
That's right.
Since 2009, where it's gained some traction, where people have had some sort of a belief. Thousands and thousands of people have died. There's people that have died that nobody knows they're dead yet. They've just absolutely disappeared. There's no body. There's no trace. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Their parents are sitting at home, probably with the hope of they're locked up in some prison somewhere and they might be let out.
Yeah.
20 years later, 30 years later. And then we're getting like, everybody's got their expertise. We've seen what's happened. We know what's happened internally in the country. We have people there. We have relatives there. When things are like calm and stuff like that, we know what's going on. But the economic collapse that's happened in Iran in the last month is unprecedented. Like we can't even fathom what that looks like.
Yeah. 45%.
You would need pictures. I don't know if you guys have seen these pictures. Let me just give you guys a history lesson here. My audience generally is a bright bunch of people, but there are some in there always that, German economic collapse. Look at that. Images. I don't know. Did you see these images when you were growing up, Tom?
I can't see it. It's too far from me.
Oh, look. I want to specifically find a picture of someone rolling up money to like buy something. The German economy collapsed so bad that
Oh, yeah, I've seen these.
Okay. It was absolutely insane, okay? Like, look at this. This is German money. Like, these are the sort of things that I can kind of maybe think about and help people. Like, the economic collapse in Iran is horrendous. That'll probably get you like a bread.
Oh my God.
Like, just like think about it in those ways where the paper that's the money's printed on is worth more than the money itself.
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff we're talking about. I think I don't know, because there's two currencies in Iran. There's a Tuman and a Rial, right?
Yeah. So they created, if I'm not wrong, they created the Tuman in order to drop a zero from the Rial because inflation was so high, like so. Or something like that. I'm not exactly sure.
Or the other way around.
But it's something. It's a way to kind of like,
manage it.
Manage the currency.
Right. So.
So
$1.
Yeah, that's.
Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you guys, what is that number? I can't even. What is that? 1 million?
I have no idea.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. $1 is 1,137,500 Rial.
And it's like, guys, it's printed money, so they actually have to they have the cash for this.
Yeah. So what they end up doing probably is keep printing higher bills because you're not going to carry around bucket loads of money. Right, it's like, oh, here's a bill. This one is 1 million.
Yeah, and they're dropping it now. So like they're like announcing the numbers differently.
And so it's an absolute collapse. People can't buy, like, if you guys only knew the stories that I'd heard, like in regards to people mixing different stuff with rice in order to eat and get some nutrition, meat being all sorts of weirdo stuff mixed into the meat. So get some sustenance and all that stuff. Like, it's horrendous. And this recent uprising, 1 hour ago, Iran's Rial just collapsed. I just saw this.
Yeah, I mean.
Iran's national currency, the Rial, has completely collapsed against the US dollar as the country's economic crisis worsens. The value of 1 Rial is now worth $0.00.
That's sad.
Okay. So the thing is that, like, we know the conditions that the people have been living in, and this recent one where the inflation went up like another 45%, people just had it. Like, they're like, we don't have a future. So there's a couple of things that are kind of running this whole movement. One is people are sick and tired of the Islamic regime just forcing them to do a bunch of stuff. Okay? Just absolutely sick and tired of it. So you saw a bunch of women who were going on the streets removing their
Hijab.
here's the thing, it's not called a hijab, right?
Niqab.
No, for the Iranians, it's called a chador.
Chador, yeah.
Chador. I see, bro. Sit down. Let the expert talk, man. No,
That's true.
No, it's just funny because when I hear Americans talking, they're generally talking about the hijab and stuff like that. So it's called the chador. It's a head covering. Removing this and all this stuff. So there's that. There's people just wanting freedom. Iran has one of the youngest populations on the planet that aren't getting married. So it has one of the largest populations, period. But it's also one of the largest populations that aren't getting married because they don't have hope for the future.
Yeah.
Because they're like, bro, if I get married and have a kid, like, how are we going to take care of that kid? So there's the aspect of the regime and the Islamic kind of nonsense. The other aspect that's driving this is the economic stuff. Yeah,
for sure.
That's 100%.
I mean, it's like true. if they were doing well economically, they would still hate the Islamic Republic. But there's not enough kind of like motivation to come out and maybe like do what they're doing right now on the streets.
Yeah,
like maybe you just chill a little bit, But this was going to happen anyways because at the end of the day, Arthur, they also hate Islam.
Yeah, I agree.
The economics is a huge factor. But
there's an aspect of like, sanctions did this and this and that.
Yeah, because they're like burning down their like mosques.
Yes, 40-something mosques, if I'm not mistaken, are the numbers.
It's not just economics, guys. They're burning down their whole. And then some moron. I was watching this like Turkish. I think it's called TRT. It's like a pro-Turkish.
Yeah.
So somebody commented.
That's run by the Turkish national government.
So somebody commented on one of the videos of the mosque burning, saying, "Why are they burning down the mosque? Are they even Muslim?" No. They're not Muslim. They hate you. They hate that religion. They've been forced into it because of whatever reasons they were brought up. They were born after the revolution, most of them, right? Most of the population's under 30, under 40. So they're just young people that hate this stuff. They don't want to follow this horrible, disgusting, degenerate, evil, satanic created religion.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. And then obviously when you add the economics to it, then there you go.
Yeah.
Then you have the
rest. For many years, the economics was like decent, but they've been, here's what Iran has been doing, essentially, the government, what's it called? People called it the IRGC, the mullahs, the Ayatollahs, like their whole system, their whole shebang. They've essentially been taking the money, the resources from the country. The country is rich in resources. You guys don't understand. Like, it is ridiculously rich in resources. They've been taking all the money coming in from the resources, and they have been funding dumb groups around the world. They've been funding Hezbollah. They've been funding the Houthis. Like, they got their tentacles everywhere, right? So the people know this. The people know that they're getting robbed. So these guys can pursue their own kind of aspirations and ideologies across the world.
Yeah.
Their hate for America. Like, I was watching an interview with Khamenei, this guy.
Yeah.
When he was president. He's like, you took over the government, because he was president at one point.
Yeah.
And I think the questioner asked him, like, who do you hate the most? He's like, America. I'm like, bro, seriously? Like, you have nothing better to do with your life? No. Like, that's it? No.
But they obviously don't hate it enough since they send their daughters here to get married. And,
they send them to the West to party up and stuff like that.
Party up,
right?
so.
Yeah, as long as it's other people's kids, it's all good. And so what ends up happening is that people get fed up with this, more and more fed up. That you're taking the money from our resources. You're not reinvesting it into the economy and the people. And then we see you're like talking about your rockets and the nuclear program you're building and doing this.
People can't survive.
But we don't have bread to eat. Yeah. Of course they're going to revolt.
Look, people will live in all kinds of societies as long as they're economically doing okay, by the way. Like, people will generally kind of like just deal with the governments that they're part of as long as they're economically doing fine.
Yeah, I think we got some breaking news, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
This might be from an hour ago. Trump put this up.
I saw this 25%. Okay, Ted mentioned this.
Effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. This order is final and conclusive. Thank you for your attention on this matter.
So they're actually
President
ruling on the
Donald
tariffs this
J.
week.
Trump.
The Supreme Court is supposed to rule on the tariffs this week, and I think I think somebody was mentioning that if the Supreme Court rules against him in the tariffs, or he can impose it, then the United States has to return a bunch of the money that they've already like recovered from tariffs, which is like in the billions and billions of dollars. So that Supreme Court decision is going to be pretty big.
Yeah, they better make.
Oh, by the way, I was going to say, like, even with the Shah, guys, like the Shah, the king of Iran, right? He was a popular figure until the like the country started kind of economically struggling, and then he ended up throwing like I think like $100 million like party.
Yes,
like
he threw
whatever
extravagant,
a
party.
very extravagant party, which
true.
like potentially, I mean, I'm not an expert in the Iranian like whatever, but apparently that caused a lot of drama at the time. Like, dude, like we're struggling, we're trying to make ends meet, we're trying to like get our families together, and you're throwing these and he was an extravagant guy, he was a king, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was throwing these parties and stuff, and like people hated it. So it just goes to show like economics, regardless of like ideology and stuff like that,
100%.
like social ideologies that can play a big part in why people just like either show up and roar or don't show up to vote for you, for example, in the United States. So that's a big factor there. But it's just so nice. I mean, it's
I this is it's so weird. I'm looking at this.
he's so bad looking too.
Yeah, this is Khomeini, by the way, guys. Not Khomeini. This guy's been dead for a while. How about you do something? He needs to be eliminated. I'm just like, this guy's been dead for a long time.
I saw that. They look the same. Can you blame them? They all look the same. They all have that little black little turban on with a long white beard. They all look aggressive, but then they talk like this.
Oh man,
I can't wait to see their demise. By the way, I'm not like the reason I'm not out here like Donald Trump should bomb Iran is because I also like I'm an American first, so I have to keep in mind American interests and what America should do for America, and like we're struggling too, like it's not easy for us either.
Yeah.
But like part of me is like, however this happens, where that bastard and his entire like crony government is taken out, like the Ayatollah and stuff like that, it's gonna be such a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Like forget Maduro. That guy's like breakfast compared to what these guys are. Like I can't wait till these guys are just either shackled or dead. Like this guy's probably gonna die, Khamenei, by the way, before he gets out of there. Think about it. You're what, 86 guys? Think about it. You're 86 years old. You've ruled this country. You're this figure that thinks they're like the protector of Islam and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you have the U.S. threatening you. Like you don't even know where the hell you're gonna go after you die and stuff like that. You're probably doubting your 72 virgins. So what do you do at the end? You're like, I don't want to go out as an 86-year-old loser shackled like Nicolas Maduro. I want to go out with a bang. So all that smack talking he's doing, he might actually go out with a bang.
Yeah,
he might just be
surprised.
boom.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. The fear that I have is in the midst of this, they just launch a bunch of rockets and stuff like that, just because they know they're done.
Yeah,
Like,
that could be. But I mean, people are not, his surrounding isn't 86-year-old almost dead people. So they might be like, actually, we have families and we don't want to deal with whoever comes next. So that could happen.
Agape, who is Iranian, is in the chat, says, y'all pray for Iran. We are, and we continue to do so. And that's part of the reason why we're talking about this as well, is because they've shut the internet down in Iran. And I know Elon Musk said that, I guess they've been taking Starlink receivers into Iran for a number of years. Here's the crazy thing, Tom. Supposedly, here's what I read today. The Iranians have brought in Russian jammers that jam Starlink signals. And so that's part of the reason why like it's not sort of working and stuff like that as people would have thought. And trust me, I know people very, very close to me who've tried to make contact in Iran and they haven't been able to. Have you guys been able to?
I've reached out to all of my family who usually responds immediately. They haven't even read my messages.
Yeah. No, there's no internet in Iran. There's, as a matter of fact, I think they also shut down the electricity. I don't know for how long and what, but I know they shut down the electricity. Didn't Khomeini flee to Russia? No, that was a rumor. Well, we don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe he has. Who knows?
You know, these guys. Maybe he put up a full-on hijab and nobody recognized him. And just
he's on the street. Hey, that's what that. Yeah. Don't give him any ideas now. He might actually go out there and do that. No, but in all seriousness, man, I pray for the people of Iran who are fighting this cause. I think they're warriors. You know, we always talk about like, or especially like those of us who are politically engaged. We talk about, we're gonna get this, but it takes a lot of heart, a lot of guts, and a lot of some other stuff to actually put your life on the line and die for freedom, for the cause of liberty. So Americans have this, like Americans, we have this beautiful image of liberty and our warriors and stuff like that. But like these guys are fighting for the same exact thing. They're fighting from liberty, from their own government, from the evil in their own government. And to actually put your life, to be like, I'm going to die and I'm going to be like a number within a large number, and people are going to talk about me for a second. They're going to forget me, that my family's but I'm going to do it for the cause of freedom, for the sake of freedom. That stuff, man, that's like courage where I don't know, man. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if I would be that courageous, honestly.
It's crazy. I don't know what this picture is, but I'm just trying to keep up and see if there's anything coming through. So that's part of the reason why I said the reason why we're talking about it is because people in Iran have a hard time accessing the outside world. And so we want to talk about it as much as possible. I would recommend all of you guys talk about it as much as possible. Post things, repost things, get things trending.
That's right.
The more the better. There's, because then you're putting influence on your politicians and stuff. Should the United States, Tom, get involved in this? My idea, I think the United States should take out some strategic Iranian leadership. Just take them out. And that could be morally justified, by the way.
Yeah, or Israel should do it. I mean, it's their neighbor, technically.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Israel and they're going to blame you anyways for it, just do it.
Just do it. And come out and say you did it.
Yeah, just do it and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're going to be taken out one way or the other. Like when people start revolting to this degree, that's an unstable government. Now, I don't know, Art. It's really difficult. Like I'm thinking to myself, if this was happening in like Zimbabwe and I had no like connection to it, am I as like heck yeah, America? Like
you're
maybe
probably not.
Man.
You're probably not. But for the same reason why there's a bunch of people walking around that they're not like that for Iran.
Yeah.
So. And why, like. I am because of various things, but not at the level I was when it was Armenia.
Yeah, of course.
Right, like a lot of the gray in my beard came during that time period. I'm not joking there. That's legitimately, I grayed a lot in 2020. In about 3 months. Not even. But, I mean, afterwards and, it's tough, man. It's hard. But Iranian people are beautiful people. They're extremely hospitable people. They're neighbors to Armenia. I have a vested interest in that as well. Like I want Armenia to have really good neighbors as a nation. I want Armenia to have democratic neighbors, considering the other two sides of the border are not democratic.
Yeah.
And I want Armenia to just have a really good relationship with good neighbors. Armenia does have a decent relationship with Iran, I should say, right now. But I think that relationship could be 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
If you have a free Iran. Especially if you have an Iran where Christianity is growing and solidifying.
And the Iranian people
open.
And the Iranian people love the Armenian people. Yeah. It's not like their government. A lot of Armenians are like, well, if the government gets overturned, like what if they don't have that relationship, dude?
That's no way. Yeah, that's no way.
They're partners. They have great history together. They don't have any beef right now. Why would like a more democratic and like normal person become the figurehead in Iran and then be like, we hate Armenia? Time to take them out.
Sep said, let's be real, bro. They'll replace the mullahs with an Israeli-American puppet. The resources will be plundered. Iran will be another vassal state. Obviously better than Islamic rule, but far from perfect. Let me ask something. Sep, if they took me and made me the ruler of Iran, would you say the same thing? Probably, since you called me an Israeli puppet the other day and told me where my yarmulke's at and all that.
Well, no, but he's making a more like this is a pretty decent point.
No, I get it. The problem is whoever gets into power there, you're gonna say he's a puppet. Tell me someone that you would say is not a puppet, other than the mullahs.
And by the way, puppet isn't always bad. Like I get what you're saying.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Like even if like the puppet with what you're saying is, let's say, someone who has America's or Israel's interest, in mind, and that's how they rule, that might not actually be a terrible thing for Iran. Iran is not, I was telling this to one of my friends yesterday, Iran is not Syria. It's not, they don't have this, their identity is not as rooted to like Islam as some of those more Arab countries around them. They are incredibly, incredibly rich in culture. They've generally been secular even after they were Islamized or whatever. They've remained sort of a secular. They've been great with their neighbors. They've generally been very good with minorities and other religious groups that have lived amongst them prior to 1979. It's not the same dynamic, Sep. I get what you're saying, and you might have something, like there might be some truth in that, but it's not going to collapse like Iraq collapsed. Like that's not, the people are way too patriotic. They love their country. There's too much history, and the majority, I would say, or at least a more than not, want to change the system. This is not like one of those scenarios where like you have a bunch of loud people and that are like 3% of the population. That's a legendary comment. That's Sep, I kid you not, I said this to my wife a couple days ago. I was like, he would be the absolute best person to put up there as
if Vigen was alive, he'd be good too.
Andy Madad, that's a legendary comment.
I can't.
He has more charisma than never mind.
Oh, he does, and he's loved. But a couple of comments here. Can't believe you said that. I disagree with this comment. If Israel goes in, the Middle East will go wild. You guys should know that. Anything Israel, USA will do, watch the other Middle Eastern nations rise up. Okay, so here's why I disagree with that. Because the other Middle Eastern nations are not like the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Yeah.
There's a national ethnic division there. There's also a Shia-Sunni divide there that I think they might talk, but I don't think they will do much because Iran is a big problem for them. They want to normalize things. They want to kind of, like I'm talking about Saudi Arabia and those nations. They want to kind of normalize relations with the West. Like think about the Abraham Accords and all that stuff. Iran is the nation that's like screwing that up. And so I don't think there will be much discussion there. And I think part of it is also predominantly because of Shiism. That they won't get involved much. Even if it's...
Look, even the Iranian Ayatollahs, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, if they're more, like people who are more experts. I'm just kind of bringing this out of like my knowledge, not out of any like deep research. But even like the mullahs and the Ayatollah and stuff that rule Iran, they didn't go around like burning their own like historic sites. Like at least I don't think so. Like I don't think they've gone around like burning like ancient cities or things of that sort that was part of like the Iranian heritage in the past, like the king's castle. I think it's called Golestan or something like that. I forgot what its name is, but they're even them. They didn't go out and like start just tearing down like things that were like anti-Muslim or whatever. So if they didn't do it, like that just goes to show like the Iranian people are just way too prideful in their own kind of like ethnicity and who they are in order to like cause chaos and stuff like that. And who's to say, by the way, they're going to be like, oh my God, Israel, come in and rescue. That's not how the people are. Like American, by the way, in the diaspora, they're more pro-Israel because you got the dynamic of like the like the Persian Jews and stuff like that, especially in LA. But that's not how like the populace in Iran necessarily thinks. Like they're not like, oh my gosh, we want Benjamin Netanyahu to come be our daddy, Israel. Like they're not like that, bro. They're just normal people that want good relationships with their neighbors, including Israel, who's not too far away. And so it's not, my point is they want a good relationship with Israel. I don't think Israel's intentions for Iran are necessarily evil or bad. I think Israel wants a good relationship, and the diaspora and the actual populace that lives there don't think exactly the same about Israel. So they're not just gonna be like, Israel, come in and take over our presidency and have our oil, and that's not necessarily the case. You're gonna have some pushback there. They're gonna want their own government and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
it'd be interesting. It's game over for Iran. Breaking news: China refusing to port Iranian tankers. Bibi's Venezuela gambit worked. The oil.
It's game. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm trying to find. So the oil tanker seized by U.S. forces on Wednesday had a track record of faking or concealing its location information. Apparently, this
Sawa, I am factoring them in. Like,
yeah, I'm not because they're funded by Iran. Iran goes, Hezbollah's done.
No. I think she's saying like you're not. I think she's responding to me saying you're not factoring in like tribes, other groups, and other militias that exist within Iran. I think that's what she's saying, right?
No, I was talking about the. I think she's responding to my comment about the Saudis and the general Sunni Shia divide. Okay. I get that they're Shia Sunni, and Saudis won't like it. I understand Sunni Saudi will love it, but there's Hezbollah. You're not factoring them in. That hold the hold they have. Look at Lebanon. I just frankly think Hezbollah is a front for Iran, and I think if Iran goes, Hezbollah goes. The historic Christian sites were destroyed in Syria. Correct, they were. Lots of historic Armenian sites were destroyed in Syria as well. I don't. Iran is a bit different. I think we got to be careful when we compare. I think Iran's very different than what we're seeing even in Lebanon, I would say. God used Kirosh, the Persian king, to free Israel. I pray he uses Israel to free Iran now. That comes from an Iranian woman.
Yeah, that's it. She's obviously an Israeli plant, though.
Must be.
Right.
BB's in the chat, you guys.
Check where her location is from.
Hang on.
Do you know this person? Is this a real person?
Just asking. Yeah, man, agape, man.
I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm just asking questions. Maybe BB's in the chat. I don't know. We saw Egyptian planes land.
Yeah.
In Burbank.
Oh, forget it. Too late. Like I want to say something, but I'm so lazy to like think in the proper way you say it. I'm just like, screw it.
Just say it. I'll correct it.
Like I was gonna put out an example yesterday where, let's say there's a bunch of little kids dying of cancer, right? And then there's a cancer fund created saying like, donate to these children and these children will be saved, right? Like they need the money. And then so like I made it my cause and I started donating and I'm like, hey guys, let me get my friends and stuff like that. And we donated, and then like some evil like corrupt politician, fraudster, who had his own interest in mind, his own, selfish gain, whatever, his name recognition, whatever he wanted to do, also started funding like the cancer research. And then like my point was like, then I wouldn't then just like give up on the cancer fund and save the children. Like I wouldn't be like, just because there's an evil guy that's also funding this for whatever selfish gain, that means I give up on the cause, which is like to actually save lives of the cancer children. It's not a perfect analogy, but that's how I see kind of the situation with Iran. Let's say I said, like Arthur, let's say I assumed that Israel was a bad actor in Iran and they wanted, selfish gain. They wanted something there. And then there's people like us that are like, well, we want Iran to be free because the people want to be. And then the people actually want to be free. They're like, please, we want to be free. We want to be free. Would you then give up on helping them be free just because Israel had some like bad motivation on their side? Like, am I supposed to give, like, are we supposed to give up on these people and say, hey, because Israel can come in and do some of their more like selfish stuff and whatever you think they're going to do, right? So that means you just let these people go and like forget about the cause? Does that kind of make sense?
I'm going to pull up a video.
Okay. I thought it made sense when I was saying it to
very similar
myself.
question being asked on socialism and communism by Milton Friedman on the Phil Donahue show years ago. And then it's going to apply exactly to what you're talking about. I hope this is the video. If you guys don't know who Milton Friedman was, you need to know who Milton Friedman was. Okay? Now listen to this, Tom, very carefully.
When you see around the globe the maldistribution of wealth, the desperate plight of millions of people in underdeveloped countries, when you see so few haves and so many have-nots, when you see the greed and the concentration of power within, did you ever have a moment of doubt about capitalism and whether greed's a good idea to run on?
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? What is greed? Of course, none of us are greedy. It's only the other fellow who's greedy. The world runs on individuals pursuing their separate interests. The great achievements of civilization have not come from government bureaus. Einstein didn't construct his theory under order from a bureaucrat. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize the automobile industry that way. In the only cases in which the masses have escaped from the kind of grinding poverty you're talking about, the only cases in recorded history are where they have had capitalism and largely free trade. If you want to know where the masses are worst off, it's exactly in the kinds of societies that depart from that. So that the record of history is absolutely crystal clear. That there is no alternative way so far discovered of improving the lot of the ordinary people that can hold a candle to the productive activities that are unleashed by a free enterprise system.
But it seems to reward not virtue as much as ability to manipulate the system.
And what does reward virtue? You think the communist commissar rewards virtue? You think a Hitler rewards virtue? You think, excuse me, if you'll pardon me, do you think American presidents reward virtue? Do they choose their appointees on the basis of the virtue of the people appointed or on the basis of their political clout? Is it really true that political self-interest is nobler somehow than economic self-interest? You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. And just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us.
New York.
Well,
New York.
I don't even trust you to do that.
I love that
I love that ending. I wish they didn't fade that out.
I know, but like it's a 45-minute interview. You guys can go watch it. Okay, just type in Milton Friedman on Phil Donahue right here. Go and watch this interview. Amazing economist, or as George Bush would put it, economologist. George Bush wouldn't do that, actually. Frank Caliendo, who impersonated George Bush.
Biden kind of made us forget about George Bush's blunders, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know, when I was the economy model, just... So the thing is, the reason why I brought this up and it immediately came to my mind, I didn't have, like when you were talking, I was like, oh, I know exactly where to go. That happens sometimes in my head somehow. Is because, Israel has self-interest in Iran. And Iran doesn't have self-interest in Israel? Like, what the heck is this whole Palestine conversation about? Iran doesn't have self-interest in Lebanon? Iran doesn't have self-interest in Armenia when they threaten the Armenian government not to proselyte Christianity on their citizens when they come over and visit? And they do. They threaten their own citizens who are in Armenia to not convert to Christianity by sending them random texts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They've done it to friends of mine.
Wow.
This isn't like hearsay. Like random texts. We know who you are. We know like X, Y, and Z.
Jeez.
Don't do this. Don't share the gospel. When they sent secret IRGC agents into churches in Armenia, into Protestant churches in Armenia, where Iranians are visiting or members of, to keep track on who's become a Christian and who hasn't. Do the Iranians not have a self-interest in Yemen? Like, when people say things like this, it to me, it's like, are you detached from the real world? Where do you live? Look, I'm an idealist in many, many ways. Okay, like I would rather have people being virtuous and moral and doing things for all the right reasons. I mean, that's the way I try to live my life. That's the way we all should try to live our lives as Christians. But then there's an aspect of the way the world runs. Right? So when I observe it, and I'm not sitting here it's not a moral judgment of sorts. That's not what I'm talking about. If we're talking about that, then we could talk about all the, incorrectness in there. But if you're going to say, well, America has an interest in Venezuela, of course they do. Like, you haven't said something that we don't know.
Yeah.
Or anybody's denying. Like, clearly America has an interest there. They actually, the person who comes up and says they only have one interest are the ones that aren't thinking very deeply. They have many interests. Would you not have an interest in your neighbor and the way they lived and the kind of people they were? I mean, have any one of you guys looked for homes and try to buy homes? Do you not look at the local school system, the neighborhood, crime in the neighborhood, like who your neighbors are? Do you not drive by a couple of times, maybe in the middle of the night, like to make sure whether your neighbors are rowdy 20-year-olds who are just rooming together and renting a house, or 67-year-old empty nesters? Like, do you not do that? Do you not care about that? I mean, you should. It's great when you have good neighbors who move in. I had a situation on my street where my front neighbors were a mess, and they left, thank God. And there's very decent people who moved in. I'm very happy that happened. I have a vested interest in my neighborhood and my neighbors. So, like, when people say things like this, like, oh, Israel's going to get involved. Of course they are. They've had an enemy in this nation for 47 years. Maybe plus 47 years. The Shah wasn't very friendly to Israel. And so, but you can say that's politics. You can say that's when you're protecting your interests versus their interests and all that stuff. And you come to compromises and you're neighborly and you get along and all that stuff. So your neighbor, if the analogy stands, and I'm going to continue with an analogy, if your neighbor is blasting music on a Friday night at 1 a.m., you're probably not going to make it an issue knowing that you have a party next week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you remember we used to hold church at my house.
Yeah, man.
And it was COVID, man. My neighbors were all home and all that stuff. And one of my neighbors was blasting music regularly late into the night. And people would complain about it. And I would say, why would I make it? Bro, Sunday mornings we're blasting music. And he's never complained once. So it's like, we're being neighborly here. You know what I mean? And so you can have that kind of happen. But it makes sense for other countries. America has a vested interest in Iran, and China and Russia don't.
Yeah. China has way more vested interest than Israel does.
Way more.
They're everywhere.
And not just in Iran, everywhere.
Yeah.
Go look at what China's been doing in Africa. You want to talk about imperialism? Go look at what China's been doing in Africa. Yeah. All you liberal, bleeding heart folks. Go check it out. And so this is like when people are like disengaged to a certain extent from reality. Yes, they're going to have it. Now, what I would say, and this is why, because I'm a patriot. Okay. I don't use other language other than that. I try to stay away from it. I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot for nations having the ability to be sovereign. Like, when the Iranians are free, I want them to have their own self-interest, to care about their populace. And if that means getting along with the Israelis and building trade and developing all sorts of stuff, let them do it. Does it benefit them? Yes. But it can't benefit, like, no partnership starts off with, this is going to benefit me 100% and it's going to benefit you 0%. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have, depending on where you're at and how much negotiation power you have and all that stuff, maybe you're going to have a 40-60, 30-70, right? Maybe you're going to have a 50-50. Maybe you're going to have a 60-40 on your side. But people sit there and they talk about this stuff as if it's going to be 100-0 in a certain direction. Do you think the United States developing the oil industry in Venezuela, the United States pushing for fair elections in Venezuela is not going to benefit the people of Venezuela? How much will it benefit them? I don't know. Let's just say 40%. Now you might be like 40% is little. And I'm like, they're negative 30 right now. So that's a 70% switch. Would you take that? If somebody gave you an opportunity to invest like that, would you take it? Heck yeah, we'd take it. Anybody who says no are absolute liars. You're losing money, say, 30%. And somebody comes and says, hey man, we're going to take over this thing. We're going to build it. We're going to fix it up. We want your country to run this way. And we're going to switch it up. You know, you're going to get to keep that 30% you're losing. On top of that, you're going to get another 40%. You take it, you say yes. Like, this isn't really rocket science, but for some reason people seem to miss it. Because I'm not a rocket scientist, but I just think this is the simple reality of existence. Look at this. Excellent says, yep, in Nigeria, China is a real problem. However, for goodness sake, man. You should have just put MAN. It would have been better. Like, for goodness sake, man. What about Israel being an enemy with the Mid-Easterners? You know that Israel has done so much harm to the Mid-East under the guise of being democratic. And what I would say here is that Israel has been thinking about their own self-interest. That's why they've done that. I'm not, notice, I'm not necessarily making moral judgments here. I can make all sorts of moral judgments. I've spoken a lot in the past about Israel and where I disagree and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, if I'm just looking at it with the way that geopolitics are run, in certain circumstances, it's going to benefit a nation for their neighbors to be weaker and disorganized, especially considering those neighbors about 50 years ago all ganged up on you and tried to kill you. You guys get my point? This is what the Arab-Israeli war was. They all ganged up on them and tried to kill them. They fought back and won. And then since then, because they have self-interest, they've been thinking about ways in which they can destabilize and get involved in the affairs of their neighbors so their neighbors don't do something like that again. See how that makes sense? Like, that's real politics, man. That's the reality of existence. Sometimes we are very, what's the word? Not excluded. We're protected. Like in America, we're protected from this stuff. We generally, we have Mexico as neighbors. We have Canada as neighbors. We're like pretty decent neighbors.
I forgot about Canada.
Right. Yeah, sometimes we forget Canada exists. It's kind of like, that's like an extension of America in some weird way. Oh, at least for Americans, right? And Mexico, if they're controlling their border, like, there's no issues with America. Really. There were at one point or another in history. But here's where we live in today's day and time. And so we kind of get, I want to say, protected from countries where, like, there's conflict all the time. Yeah. You know that meme? I don't want peace. I want problems. Always. Like that. Like, that's their existence. And so people are going to make more dramatic decisions when that's the case. And it's going to get a lot more messy. It's just not enough for me. If you want to have a real, serious, deep political discussion, for someone to come to me and say, hey, Israel has an interest in Iran. Yeah, thank you. You didn't say something I didn't know. Well, of course it's more detailed than what I'm sharing. It always is more detailed than I'm sharing. I'm not a history channel on Israeli politics or other factors for that. But there's obviously more details. If people want to do their studies, let them go do their research. Let them go look into the details of that. Let them go look into how the Israelis bought land in Palestine. Let them look into the British mandate and what the British Parliament conversations were. I'm not going to sit here for the next 15 days and do all the work for everyone. Yes, there's all this stuff. of course, but we're not living in 1967. We are living in the results of 1967. We're living in the results of Yasser Arafat. We're living in the results of Ayatollah Khomeini and the Shah and Khamenei, this guy who's been in power for 47 years or whatever it's been. We're living in the results of that. And we can sit here and bicker and talk. We're living in the results of the Armenian genocide. We're living in the results of the Holocaust. Well, you know, it wasn't like that in Germany. The Germans weren't all racist. Yeah, we know. Like anybody who wants to be rational and not a child where we're feeding them every single detail of information needs to realize that. Why were the Germans all fed up? Well, many reasons. The Germans were fed up because of what happened after World War I, when their economy collapsed. The Germans were fed up because they were made to be an embarrassment to the world, and the world laughed at them and made fun of them. And so what they did was they went back into their own collective, into their own society, and started overemphasizing Germanness. And in the midst of that, this idiot got developed. Whatever his issues were. Not going to get into the details of that, right? Oh, he was a failed artist. Oh, some Jew didn't give him a job. Well, who cares? We can discuss the historical facts, but the results are there. We live in the results. And we ought to think properly as people living in the results. What was the word you used yesterday? Analysis paralysis?
Yeah. Analysis paralysis. That's right.
Some of us are like that. Sometimes Arthur has analysis paralysis, but sometimes he doesn't have paralysis. He just has analysis.
Oh, give me some there. That was good, man.
That's a line. That's a line, baby.
I was like, is it gonna? Was something good gonna come out of this? And it happened. It was like, boom.
But sometimes I don't have analysis. I just have paralysis. That's a short.
That's down the road. That's down
the road.
That's down the road.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I wake up in cushioned, pampered. Yeah, all those fit, man. All those fit. Oh gosh. That was good, man.
That was strong.
That's a short right there, Tom. Can you fix that up?
Yes, I can.
Well,
Sawa says, I'm a history lover. We're told things habitually that are wrong, misled them, not to do. There are people involved in these situations.
No historical event. I love history, guys. I wanted to be a high school history teacher.
He is history. Before history, he was.
It is his story. The cheesy Christian lines. You know why history matters? Because it's his story. A story. Oh, gosh. Look, I love history so much. I'm the kind of person that sits down to watch a show that's a historical show with my wife. And as we're watching, I'm researching the actual people.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Oh, my God. It's so hard.
And she goes, what are you doing? And I go, I'm researching who King Alfred was.
Yes.
What he did, who his children were. I'm on the 18th page of Wikipedia on the descendants of the king.
Yes. Oh, my God. We're the same in that.
I'm like, I love it. But anybody who studies history also understands that historical conversations and things that happen are never monolithic. They're never one-sided. Like, can you imagine in 100 years, people look back on America and they go, oh, you know, the liberal conservative kind of conversation that was going on in America, the divide that was there, was because of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the stupidest analysis,
right.
historical analysis. Because it's not. There's 1,000 things. You could go back to George Bush and talk about disillusioned conservatives. You can go back to boomers about who raised hippies. Like, there's so much that can be fed into this as to why we have the issues, why the constant feminization of men, the multiple feminist movements that went beyond feminism, And so all of these frustrations, people try to come up with a very simplistic kind of with a bow on it analysis and say, this is the reason this happened. No, it's never that. World War II didn't just happen because, I don't know, the Germans just wanted to like conquer everything. There's a lot more reasons behind it. Why didn't America get involved immediately in World War II? If they were so virtuous and cared about Europe and all this, why didn't they immediately get involved in it? Well, because there's reasons for that, and the reasons are complicated, and so, right?
Yeah, history, man.
By the way, again, forget Wikipedia. It's an awful tool for research. That's not true.
That's not true.
It's an awful form of research on certain subjects. Okay, and if you don't like it, go use Elon Musk's. What's the thing he just came up with?
Grok.
No, Grokopedia or something like that. I don't know. But the thing is, yes.
What else is there, by the way, outside of Wikipedia?
I don't know.
Of books.
No, books.
No, I know. Outside of books, you can't. Wikipedia is amazing. You click on the king, then predecessor, then predecessor. Then
Like in regards,
it's incredible for quick history tools.
With that stuff, that's what I mean. It really depends what we're talking about, right? There's things on Wikipedia that are really, really good, and I've talked to like professional scientists. Because I've made similar comments about Wikipedia, and like there's things definitely where obviously they're getting it wrong and stuff. But I've had people, math people, science people turn to me and say, no man, like on in our field, it's really, really good. But obviously I'm not just talking about Wikipedia. I'm just saying when I'm watching a movie, I'm on Wikipedia, or else I'm grabbing a book off my shelf and diving into it. I found some pictures I was showing you earlier before the stream got going. I found some pictures of myself and my friends from the mid 2000s, and there was a picture of me, Tom. This is in 2005, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 2005, early 2006 is where this picture would be. And I'm walking, and somebody's looking at me with like an intense look or something. And in my hand, I have a Bible. I have something else. I don't know what the other thing is. And I have the book. This book, actually. I have this book. It's one of these books. Like exactly these books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these are these ones. Story of Christianity. Story of Christianity. By Gonzalez, right? Is Gonzalez wrote that? Yeah. And I was like, oh man, look at that. Arthur's doing his homework. I was probably taking church history class or something like that. And going places with my books. You know, and then I had a thought yesterday that not much has changed in my life. Except I have a backpack now. I couldn't afford a backpack. That's a joke.
And you have a studio with a bunch of cameras, and
you
tell people.
Sep says Wikipedia will tell you that Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK, but we will let Sep tell us. You know who did it? The Jews. Why don't you go on Wikipedia and edit it and write the Jews did it? History is often written by the losers, monitored by the victors. It's interesting.
That's funny.
Again, I disagree. There are other areas to look into Google. Correct. All of these are very good. I absolutely agree. Amen to this. I use these things. Google Scholar, JSTOR. Yes. If you have access to libraries, completely agree with you.
Lucky for me, I have Arthur. Lucky for me.
I'm not pulling up a JSTOR article when I'm watching a movie with my wife to know who like a
well,
king's
you could just
was.
have ChatGPT search JSTOR for you.
You could. You could.
That's another way.
ChatGPT does get wrong things, by the way. Obviously gets wrong things.
What do you mean? It told me I'm the best looking guy.
It lied because it told me
what?
I'm the best looking guy. I am the best looking guy. I got proof of it, bro. I was the best looking guy.
Man, I wish
I had my hair, guys. I wish I had my hair.
Man, he had some mean hair, guys. I saw some old pictures today.
Should I pull that one up?
Yeah, I mean, he had some really, really mean hair.
Should I pull up this cool 19-year-old guy before we leave? We're about to leave. Yeah, Tom?
Dude, you should definitely pull that up. That's a flex picture. I mean, that's
Is
like
it?
a picture you show everyone, later in life, and you go like, this is who your dad is. That's not an embarrassing one.
Oh, that's
there are
not
definitely some embarrassing ones.
Yeah, there are. That's true. But that's yours truly.
Yeah, I just don't know why you're wearing a Clipper jersey.
Oh, because I watched every single Laker and Clipper game for about 3 years running. That's a Corey Maggette jersey.
Yeah,
I love that jersey. That's yours truly. I am probably. Oh gosh, I'm probably 9. Let me see it.
no, you're younger than 19.
No, I'm not. If this is 2006, then I'm 21 years old. Arthur had hair. Not only did Arthur have hair, Arthur had very curly hair.
You got to pull that curly one up. Do you know where that was? Or
Yeah,
that's just
I can't. Yeah, that I don't have that saved on my computer. I didn't save it, but it's from the back, and so you see all my curls.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But that's a good one. Yes,
That's Arthur for you.
That is me. That's me.
when he was part of a gang before the Lord saved him.
I was not part of a gang. That's actually, I'm a Christian there in that picture. I am a Christian in that picture.
Every
Bro, ChatGPT'd hair on his head. Lies. Arthur never had hair. Forever a dinosaur.
That's funny.
Oh man. Arthur with his hair is a different person. Folks keep telling me that.
Yeah.
I have work in 6 hours and need sleep, so God bless you guys. We're gonna go as well.
Yeah, we need sleep too.
No, we don't need sleep. We gotta do work. With all that said, guys, keep Iran in your prayers. This is not an appropriate use of AI, Arthur. You guys are something else. There's people who were next to me when those pictures were taken. I have evidence. But keep Iran in your prayers. There's a lot of other stuff happening, and we kind of were thinking about talking about some of that stuff, but we spoke about this. Keep your eye on David Wood. Pray for David Wood. People have doxed his wife's phone number, his home address and stuff like that, and David's kind of taken the challenge on. He's got this whole thing about desecrating the Quran that's going on. So there's going to be some intense fighting. We also found out yesterday, Tom. By the way, the U.S. Embassy has told everyone to get out of Iran. And then I think there's some airplanes in the area. We found out yesterday, before you go, that David Wood, his real name is not David Wood. Do you guys know this? Some of the Islamic guys did research and found out that David Wood's real last name is David Segarra, and he is a Mexican guy. And there's a reward out for him. There's a reward out for him. The best comment I saw on Inspiring Philosophy's thing was David El Guapo Cigar. This is hilarious. The best comment I saw was, yes, this guy looks familiar. I think he goes by Mike Winger nowadays.
Oh, man, that's really good.
That was really good. But there's some interesting stuff on the...
Yeah, just go to David Wood's Twitter. You'll thank us later.
Go to his Twitter. It's kind of insane right now. Okay, with all that said, guys, God bless you guys. And we'll see you. We'll see yous later. Okay? Okay. Well, how does Kamala Harris say? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.